Hello in the next episode. In today's video I'm going to install the new Picofly chip, it's my favorite, in Nintendo Switch OLED. Alright, so let's do this! Today's video is sponsored by PCBWay. PCBWay is a China-based manufacturer specializing in PCB, printed circuit board, prototyping and fabrication. They offer a range of services including PCB prototyping, custom PCBs with quick turnaround times, starting from as low as $5 for 10 pieces, PCB assembly, surface mount technology, SMT, and through-hole assembly services, with fast delivery options. CNC machining, precision machining services for various components. 3D printing, custom 3D printed parts and stencils. PCBWay is known for its affordable pricing, fast production times, and high quality standards. They also provide one-on-one assistance and real-time tracking of orders. So don't forget about my sponsor. The link to their website is in the video description. Okay, so let's get back to our video. Alright, so last time, about 6 months ago, I found this chip. This is the Picofly chip. Let me just unpack it. So as you can see, this is the Picofly OLED Lite V2, and for me, is the one of the best of the chips on the market. This is my personal opinion because I've got experience with all mod chips on the market. I have tried all of them, and like I said, this is my favorite one. Okay, it's already programmed, so you don't have to connect, the USB-C adapter. You don't have to install the firmware on it first. It's already done. And it comes with micro USB. This is the micro USB. This is the older version, but sometimes they send it with the USB-C adapter. And this is the CPU tape. The same like in Instinct. What we've got more, this is tape for OLED. It's very useful. What I can say, I'm using this tape now. Before I was skeptic about this and I didn't use it, but now I'm using it. And one of the most important things that this chip has got many adapters that can be useful with the other switches. Yeah, so this is the adapter for Switch Lite. Yes, we've got Switch Lite, and also this adapter is for V1 and V2 switches. Okay, so if you want to use this chip on a normal V1, V2 chip switch, you gotta use this flexi tape adapter, and it should be soldered like this. And then you just need to place it in the correct position. Here you can connect to your chip. It's very, very easy. So that's why I like this chip, because it comes with different compatible with the other switches adapters. Okay, let's disassemble our Nintendo Switch OLED. But first, what we need to do, we need to check. This is like the brand new Nintendo Switch. I've done these fingerprints, but it is like a brand new one. And I've even created the new character because it was factory set. Okay, so as you can see, the current system version is 19.0.0, and at the moment, the atmosphere, the custom firmware, it works on this system version. But I know from today that the Nintendo released the newer version, the latest, and it's the 19.0.1. And I'm not sure if I update this today to the latest, the atmosphere will work or no. So at this moment, I don't know this. So I'm just wanna stay with this system version, with 19.0.0, okay? Because I've got atmosphere version that it works with this firmware, but I'm not sure if the same atmosphere will work in the latest firmware, okay? So the SD card is already in and it's empty. So I will do the SD card part at the end of the video. I will use the latest hotspot. But as we know, on the website, so this is pre-release version, so this is not official one. It supports the firmware version 19.0.0. So we don't know at the moment if the newer version, the latest version of firmware, which is 19.0.1, will work with this. So that's why I'm staying with the 19.0.0. Alright, so I'm going to just turn off my switch. Power off. You need to be careful on this antenna. You don't want to break it or cut the wire. Alright, our shiny shield. Right, I will disconnect the battery right now. Just removing the SD card module and the heatsink. Okay, so heatsink already removed. I just wanted to clean it. And also I'm going to remove thermal paste from this shield. And you remember, before I had to remove all these components and I had to take out the motherboard from the Switch. But because now we've got a very nice method like kamikaze method, we don't have to take the motherboard out. We can do it in the Switch. And it's not so difficult. It's very easy, but you need to practice. Because you know, for the kamikaze method, you have to be very patient. So yeah, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to remove this shield. So I'm using the tweezers and just gently pushed in, and I just need to bend it. Alright, the shield is off. Alright, so now we need to remove the thermal paste from the processor. Alright, so now I'm taking my toothbrush. This toothbrush is a special one. It's got a very soft here. You see? It's very soft. So I won't damage the components. And all thermal paste is removed, as you can see. Next step, what I usually do, we just need to cut this frame a little bit. Okay, 1 and 2. I just need to push back this side and done. Job done. Okay, so next step, I'm going to use my grinding pen. This is the grinding pen I'm using. The link is in the video description, so you can have a look. I can recommend it, honestly. I've got 2 of them and I'm very, very happy. Before I had some grinding pens, but they didn't do job properly for me. It was more messy. Alright, so we need to make everything much closer. Alright, so I'm starting with point D. So my grinding pen in hand. Alright, so now I'm going to point B, which is here. So I don't need to go to the other side of the board because point B is here. Beautiful. And the most important point is the point C, which I'm going to do with the kamikaze method. So I'm starting from this point. The point A is here and point C is here. Right, so I'm going to grind it. My camera is shaking, but if this point is wet, I can see and use my UV light to show you what I mean. As you can see, alright, it's already dried. Let me just use the isopropyl alcohol. Look at this. You see? We can clearly see where we need to grind. It's here. So now we need to expose that point. And that's it. So now I'm going to secure this area with the glue. It's like a solder mask. I will leave a link in the description. This is very good. I'm using this every day. This is not like a soldering mask. This is a little bit stronger, so you have to be careful. So that's why I don't cover with the glue the joints. So I'll just show you how to do it. So now I'm going to secure this place with the glue. To be careful, do not exceed. We don't want to cover this point. Okay, so now I'm going to use my UV light. The same. This is very strong UV light. This is for dentists, and they want to cure your component in your tooth. So it works very fast. The link is in the description. I'm going to use my hot air to 140 degrees and 90 airflow. So all surrounding area is protected. That 0 point is exposed, and I just need to just switch my multimeter into the diode mode. Black probe on the ground, red probe on this point, and we've got reading 0.484, which is acceptable. LED checkpoint A 0.582, which is also good. Point D 0.460, good. Okay, so I'm going to use the solder paste, not just the solder, but the solder paste. Alright, so now the soldering iron. Okay, beautiful. And I'm going to cover this point, flux. Alright. And now I need to use my Enameled copper wire. Enameled, which means it's covered by transparent paint. Well, I just tint the end of this enameled copper wire a little bit to make easier to solder. Okay, just be careful because we don't want to rip this off the board. So now we can clean it. Just be very, very gentle because it's hard to rebuild this point if you break it. Alright, so now I'm using my solder mask to secure this wire. I'm not going to cover this point. This point is going to be like this. I won't cover it. If something went wrong and I put this glue here, I won't be able to get access to this point. So that's why I'm just securing the rest of the wire with the solder mask. Alright, so now I need my UV light. Just a little bit to hold the wire, and then I'm going to use the hot air 140 degrees to help my glue cure. Alright, so Alright, so from this point I can clean the area around point D. So let's clean the flux. Okay, so now I'm going to use my flexi tape, this one. I'm going to solder this tape here. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to tin a little bit point D from the back, from the other side, yeah. Something like this. little bit flux. Should be a little bit, but right, where we are right now, just need to use a little bit flux. I'm using the paintbrush because, you know, I'm using the original Amtech Flux, which is not in the syringe. Which is not in the syringe because all the time when I buy the Flux in the syringe from eBay, it's a fake one and it won't help me. It doesn't help. It's really, really bad. And I had many cases, and you know, the sellers, they think it's the original one, but you know, I work with this kind of stuff and I know exactly if it's good stuff or not. So I will place the link in my description for the correct Amtech Flux, and if you buy it, you will see what I'm talking about. Before I clean this, I will just solder the C point, and our C point is here. So I'm going just to bend it a little bit, and I'm going to solder it here. Alright, very nice. Alright, so now it's time to clean this from the flux and measure the values, if they are correct, or maybe something went wrong. What could go wrong? For example, if I didn't secure properly with the solder mask this area, you can have some shorts. Alright, so let's measure the points. Multimeter in the dial mode, black probe on the ground, as usual. And we've got 0.796. Let's measure here. We've got 0.472. We've got 0.501. And we've got 0.623, which is absolutely perfect. Alright, so we just need to solder the flexi tape for the CPU and one more wire to the point B. So let's start from the point B. Alright, point D is already soldered. Let's cut it down and let's clean it. I'm not going to secure it with the solder mask. There's no need. The last point is our flexi tape for the CPU. Alright, so we need to use Flux. Put too much solder in it, but there's nothing to worry about. This here is a ground, here is a ground, so if they are connected together, there is nothing to worry about. So. Alright, so now we need to clean it. Alright, so let's check these points. Multimeter in the beep mode, black probe on the ground. We've got 1 ohm, we've got 15 ohms, 15 ohms, 1 ohm. But the tape is already soldered. We're going point B the same. The last step is to put the shield back and connect the chip. Alright, so now we need to take our shield and our pliers. I need to bend this shield in a few places. So the first is here. Okay. Okay. One more here. And that's it. So let's clean the core of the processor. And let's apply the thermal paste. I'm going to do more. I'm going just to bend back the places I bent before, so now it's good. Right, let's upload. And it's absolutely brilliant. Clean it, dry it. Let's take our chip on it. Double side tape. What I first do, always bend this flexi tape, lock the flap. Okay. And now the CPU tape, flexi tape. Okay. So lock the flap. Just bend a little bit flexi tapes. The last step is to peel off the protection film. Then we need to solder point B, which is here. Okay, so the job is done. Right, so let's switch our multimeter to the diode mode again, and the last measuring. Alright, so 3.3 volts, 0.776, D point, 0.470, A point, 0.621, C point, 0.500, B point, 1.305, and ground is 0. Okay, so all values are good. So let's connect our battery now. And let's press the power button. Right, so now it's glitching. And as you can see, the job is done properly. It's reading our chip. It's very quick. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to assemble this quickly back. So let's disconnect the battery again. So I'm going to add just a little bit solder paste. It's not too much. And this switch has got two types of the silver screws. Some of them, there are short ones, and some of them, there are long ones. The short ones, they are for the heatsink, for that pipe, and all the screws on the motherboard, but we didn't have to remove the motherboard, so they are all there. So we need to find 3 short screws, and I found it. Let's screw the heatsink back. Okay, done. Our SD card reader and gain card reader. Done. Plug the battery back. Alright, so make sure this thermal pad is still here, so it will be cooling down our battery charging IC. The tricky part is here, but for experienced guys like me, it's nothing difficult. Okay, we need to connect the antennas here. You just need to be careful, don't short anything with the tweezers. Just be very patient. Okay, let's put back the screws. Make sure the buttons are in the same place. So now it's another part. We just need to prepare our SD card. So what I'm using, I got this USB adapter. It's very good. I will leave the link in the description, this adapter. My hats. So I just need to copy and paste. I will leave the link in the description. Okay. Alright, so let's skip that. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create the partition for the emulant. Okay. If you need to use Linux or Android, you can just adjust it by yourself, but my customer didn't want to have Android, just only normal stuff. So next step, start. Power button. Alright, so it's done now. We got partitions ready. So let's go to home, MMC, and let's create MMC. Now we just need to choose SD partition. You can use also the SD file, whatever is best for you. So now we need to wait until it's finished. Okay, so now we've got 100%. The job is done. Let's check this. Alright, so now we can go to reboot and we can go to the original firmware. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the emulant. If the emulant is good. And we've got this message. Just wondering why. Okay, I know what I've done wrong. I've used not correct hotspot. So I'm just turning this off. Let's power this off. Let's remove our SD card. If it's asking you to format the disk, don't do this. Okay, so now you see this is the wrong one, the wrong hotspot. The correct is this one. This is the correct one. Now let's replace all files. Alright, what I will do, alright, I will leave the link into the description with the correct files. Hopefully it will work now. Let's check now. So it's glitching now. Takes a little bit longer than usual. Wow. This is the first time I ever had this problem, you know, that it was glitching too long time. Alright, so like I said, let's skip this. Let's try to launch emulant now. And you see, alright, as you can see that if you use hotspot which is not correct, you will end up like I did. Now we've got the emulant. Yes, let's check this. I'm going to attach my Joy-Cons. Let's check if we are in the emulant. Yes, as you can see. Okay, so let's check something. Alright, we need to see the battery percentage. And automatic software updates are off, which is good. Okay, so now let's go to the album. I know that we cannot install tinfoil from this point. We need to use this one. Alright, we need to install from the SD card. We need to go to the switch to find tinfoil, NSP, and as you can see, we got tinfoil forwarder. We need to use it. To press install the files, SD card, yes, yes. No. And exit. Now let's go back to the home screen, and we've got tinfoil now. Alright, let's open it. Here we go. And only just quick settings. Alright, so this one is the one the best. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, plus. Okay. Yes, yes. And that's it. Okay, so as you can see, the installation process is not so difficult, but it's not so easy. So it's like a medium level, and you don't have to take the motherboard out of the switch. You can do it now without doing this. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed of this video. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.